All right, seems like technology is really not in my favor today, so I'm just going to record this and continue on. So I've laid down purple, and now I'm just going to take my Squirrel Mop brush and I'm just going to add water strokes here and do it in the same shape as I did with the purple bits here and there. And then as I go to the top, I'm just kind of making it more tapered, so it still gives me that nice little tapering off effect. What I also want to do is add a little bit of the purpley mauve that we've mixed. So I'm just taking some of that on this brush and I'm just going to add a bit of it here and there. And so it gives you that nice kind of blending effect happening with the colors, and it's super pretty. So adding that here and there. And I'll leave it at that. And at this point I will add some of the green. So the same green that I had pre-mixed, I'm going to use some of that and have it attaching. I'm just going to add a couple of lines here and there to make it just a couple of dots at the end. Make it more whole is the word I'm looking for. There we go. So that came out quite nice. Just add some water here to blend or soften the edges. And then if there's too much water pooling, just use your paper towel and blend it off. I'll add one more over here. And so again, I'm using the purple that I have. I'm mixing it with a little bit of that mauve that I have or have used. And I'll just add some here. And then I am going to take my mop brush with just water on it and make sure there's not too much water on it. I'm just going to add a couple of lines in detail. And have that flow nicely. But it's also giving me that nice peeking effect, like it's just peeking from behind the rose. And then using your number 4, we'll take some of the green and connect it, adding some of the green here and there. And that's cute and pretty. So you can even add some of the green actually as I'm looking at it. Yeah, totally, like on the sides to kind of really give it that nice pop of color. It's too late for this one, but you totally could have done it. But yeah, so now we have those nice little purple sides happening. And then finally, we can just go in and add one more of the rose, just so that yellow doesn't look like it's so random and out of the blue there. Okay, so we're gonna do a orangey yellow floral here, just to kind of get some of this orange here. So as I was saying, we're gonna start off with using the number 8, and we'll get some of the yellow first, because that's exactly how I had done this one. And we're just gonna add, so now this floral needs to be a lot tinier than this. So we'll just try and do it as tiny as possible. And using the mop brush in the 8, we're just going to go in and smoothen out the edges, making sure that there isn't too much water. And then once that is done, I'm just going to get some of the darker orange and add it in the center and around. I'm getting some more of the dark orange, and I'm just going to highlight a couple of areas. And then we've also used some of the ochre yellow or what have you. So we'll go in with that as well. I'm just going to take some of the color off using just this Squirrel Mop brush. And then I'm just adding in that orangey to the center and letting it do its thing by just mixing it around, or it's mixing around by itself. And so again, we have that nice duo area with the same color, so it doesn't look like it's just random. And then we can add some of the greenery that we need. Oh, before we do that, we're adding some of the ochre. We did say that, so I'm just adding a tad bit of it. And then leaving it. And now we can kind of go on and do some last minute things. I've added a little bit of yellow to this green here. I'll just take some directly from here, and I'm going to add some leaves to add a bit more texture to our painting here. And these leaves will be something like this. So we'll just have a couple of them poking out, and poke one out from here, and I'm just making them like regular leaves, just like that. Nothing too out of the blue and taxing to do. I'll do a couple over here as well. And you can even just take a brush and just get some of the, where's the blue? Yep, here it is. And just add a bit of it to the edges of these leaves to give it a little bit of some two-tone happening here. And then I'll add some over here, just peeking out from the side. And then I'll even do some on this side here. Very lightly. And again, you can add your, I think this is the brush that I had with the blue. Yep, you can add some of the blue just to have it tie in with the rest of it. Adding it to the edges, just a tad bit. Nothing too intense. I'm just keeping some on the tip of this ready as I kind of go around and do the rest of it. I'll add a couple of them over here, and I don't want the height of these to be too much because we already have these for height. So I'll keep these fairly short and less detailed compared to the others, or less in height compared to the others, not detail, but detail too actually. Yeah, you're right, I wasn't very wrong there. And let's see, let's do some I think we're pretty good here for most of these. I'll just do a couple here by the rose as well. just like that. Just gonna add some of the blue. Oh, it kind of dried off, I guess. And just leave it that way. And where else could I add some? Could just do some here as well. So really at this point you're using your discretion to kind of decide where you would like to add these. And then kind of just let it be. Yeah, and then lastly, the very last thing I want to do is add just a couple of like berries all over. We'll do them in greens and we'll do them in pinks as well, I guess, or yellows for that matter. Let me do the green ones first, then I can kind of decide as I go along. So I'm going to start off with the greens, but I'll start off with using just the darker green first. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my Princeton Neptune and create just using water. Using water, I'm creating a one at the side and then another one here because I wanted to go from light to dark. There we go. Same effect I want over here on a much tinier scale, and have this happen here, and then one dot, and I don't want it to dry up quite that dark, so I'm just gonna dab it. Mix that color around. There we go. You can even add a tiny hint of the blue if you wish, or even a pink. Then I'll do a couple over here. And then using this brush, I'm just adding another berry shape, circle shape, and mixing the color in there too. Just adding another one, a third one there at the top, because I just want the color to blend in and seep in. So yeah, so use your discretion. You decide where you want them to be and kind of go with the flow. You can add them sporadically almost any and everywhere, but it really depends on how much detail you want. So keep that in mind. I'm just kind of going with the flow and adding them wherever I feel they should be. So you could follow me or you could kind of do your own thing at this point. Actually at any of the points, because I'm just showing you a composition that to me makes sense, but you might have something entirely different in mind. And I encourage that because you want to learn something, but kind of make it your own as well. So that's always been my thinking. So I think this is good enough for those. And I did say we'll do pink, but I think looking at this as a whole, I really like the dark blue that's happening. So I think I want to do some of them in the dark blue, and let's just see what that looks like. And I want them to be super tiny and small. So they're almost like a spray of color, or I guess blue. Spray of blue that's kind of all over here. And these can be a lot rougher than the other ones. Like, you don't need to have the light effect that we have been giving the green ones. These can just be darker. Adding a couple here and there. I just want to do some in this corner. Take this brush away. Maybe even overlap some of the other florals that we have. And that's totally fine. I just wanted tapering it off, really, more than anything else. Yeah, so kind of just like that. So it just kind of picks up on a couple of dark areas, giving you a good contrast. And I'm just literally adding a couple here and there, maybe in between the big blooms as well, so it doesn't look quite barren from the contrasty colors that we have going. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So great. So I really like how these have turned out. I was actually thinking of adding some eucalyptus leaves, but as you can see, we don't have a lot of space. We could do some that are just kind of falling down. But I think this is good as is. I'm really sorry again, guys, about the connection issues, but hopefully you guys are able to finish it by watching this video. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments what you guys thought. And yep, thanks so much for watching, guys. And as per usual, please let me know. I'd love to see your work. If you can share it on Instagram or Facebook, follow me there. Share the videos if you find these helpful. And I really appreciate the time you spend with me. So thanks so much. And we'll chat soon. Bye.